And there was a fisherman who had walked for 3 to 4 hours to the clinic because he had heard about us. And the livelihood for his children and his family came from the fish that he caught. And so we gave him the glasses, and he was in tears, very joyful, because he realized that the reason he couldn't catch the fish was because he wasn't seeing.
Dr. Marina Roma-March is an optometrist who has not only been seeing patients in East Vancouver for the past close to 30 years, she's had a vision for helping those in developing countries around the globe see through her registered Canadian charity, TWEX, or the Third World Eye Care Society.
And the mission of the society is to collect donated eyeglasses from the general public. And we take these eyeglasses with our teams of volunteers and eye doctors to developing countries, and there we provide thorough eye examinations and much needed vision care, eyeglasses, to the poorest of the poor.
Almost every year, Dr. Roma-March and her team of around 15 volunteers and eye doctors travel to a host country, carrying around 10,000 pairs of used eyeglasses in their luggages to offer at free community eye care clinics. They've been to South and Central America, Africa, South Asia, and
we've been going to the Philippines almost every 2 years since 1999.
Before the group treks off, much preparation happens inside a Burnaby warehouse, where volunteers help to collect and sort used eyeglasses donated from optometrist offices across Canada.
And then they're measured for their prescription, they're labeled, they're put in a Ziploc bag, then they're cataloged according to the prescription, cataloged again according to their gender, and then they're packed into Ziploc bags and then packed into balikbayan boxes, and then taped, and yeah, it's a lot of work.
It also takes months of coordinating with government officials in other countries before booking their plane tickets to offer their free clinics.
So in order to have an eye care project and to take these 10,000 eyeglasses in groups of people, you have to have the right paperwork. Otherwise, your glasses can be confiscated. Some organizations have had to go to jail because they didn't have the right permits, or if you don't have the proper medications and they're expiring too soon, you could be in trouble with the Ministry of Health of the host country.
Once the group teams up with a local charitable organization in their host country, it's time to set up. This year in 2024, TWEX is headed to Verac, Catanduanes, Philippines.
So what you would get as an eye examination here, we separate it out into 7 stations. So the first station would be to determine the registration, the complaints. What is it hard for you to see up close, or is it hard for you to see in the distance? What medications are you taking? The second station would be to establish the vision, right? How good their distance vision is. We also check their reading vision. That's done in your optometrist's office. And then we check the health of the eyes.
TWEX has been around for almost 3 decades, but it all started from a simple request made from Dr. Roma-March's grandmother, who had passed away before she graduated.
She knew I was in optometry school, so she said, I'll wait for you to finish, and when you graduate, you can take me back to the Philippines and you can do eye exams and give eyeglasses to our relatives there. And I said, Nanay, what are you talking about? They can just go down the street and you know, go into the mall and get eyeglasses or get an eye exam. And she was the one who made me realize that eye care is not a right, but it is a privilege. And she started to tell me stories about people in her village and our relatives who had been suffering simply because they didn't have a pair of eyeglasses. They couldn't see.
It was after Dr. Roma-March's graduation when she delivered free eyeglasses to her grandmother's hometown 29 years ago, beginning the start of the charity.
And we took an hour flight from Manila to Tacloban, another 6-hour drive through the jungle on gravel dirt roads. And there we reached my grandmother's village, and then we did eye exams for the immediate family that was there, extended family that was there, and some of the people living in the village. So we did that in her honor, and that was in 1995, and we have continued since then.
Dr. Roma-March says that she is humbled by serving the poor at these local eye clinics as they help her to not take life for granted.
I think the greatest value that TWEX brings to those in the developing world is new hope, new opportunities for better education, better health, better life simply through a pair of recycled eyeglasses that will allow you to see again.
Back in the year 2000, Dr. Roma March, a Filipino-born Canadian, was awarded with the Philippine Presidential Award for Humanitarian Service.
It was just an honor to be among all the awardees that were there, and to meet the president and to be recognized for the work that we do in the Philippines.
Teresa Barrera, OMNI News, Vancouver.